Okay, let's unpack this. Our deep dive today kicks off with a really direct statement from our source material. Weak men avoid pressure.
Yeah, it's pretty blunt, isn't it?
It is, but the article we're looking at, which is actually titled Weak Men Avoid Pressure, presents this as, well, vital, crucial for success, for growth.
Mm.
So our mission here is to really get into the core arguments, understand why this message, even though it's so straightforward, claims to be so important.
And what's really striking right off the bat is how this source positions pressure. It's not just like a difficulty.
Right.
It calls it the ultimate test. Even the forge where real men are made.
Yeah.
Which, immediately makes you, the listener, think about what that actually means for you. How have you dealt with pressure?
That's a powerful way to frame it. So,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to explore exactly why this source insists pressure is essential.
And what happens if you dodge it?
Yeah, what happens when it's avoided and how, well, according to this perspective, you can actually flip it, use it to your advantage.
Let's get right into that central claim then, because it really doesn't hold back.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
If you can't handle pressure, you're not ready for success, respect, or power. I mean, that's quite a statement, right?
It definitely makes you pause.
It does. It
Yeah.
challenges you to think about your own readiness. And then the source paints this really vivid picture, contrasting the person who sits comfortably in his safe little bubble,
Avoiding everything.
right, dodging every challenge, versus the one who stares pressure dead in the eye and says, bring it on. It kind of forces you to consider which side you lean towards.
And building on that idea of stepping out of the bubble, the force uses this really strong metaphor.
Which is?
Pressure is a magnet for growth.
A magnet for growth, okay.
Yeah, it's compelling because it flips the script on how we normally see pressure, right, as something negative.
Yeah.
But here, it says pressure actually pulls the weak apart, but builds the strong up, stronger, sharper, unbreakable.
Huh. So the same force has opposite effects depending on the person.
That's the idea. It's this concept of adaptive stress, like how muscles need resistance to grow. The source argues our character, our abilities, they're forged in a similar way.
So it's not about avoiding the strain.
No, it's about understanding that the strain itself is what triggers the strengthening. It makes you unbreakable, as the source puts it, if you lean in.
That distinction feels important. It's not just pressure existing, is how you react to it.
Exactly.
And the source pushes this further. It gets into this critique of society, saying society has trained too many men to avoid pressure.
Right, pointing to messages like stay safe, don't cause trouble, avoid stress.
Yeah, don't offend, don't stress, which the source just flat out calls a lie. And to hammer it home, there's this quote, no champion was ever crowned by playing it safe.
Which really goes against the grain of seeking comfort, doesn't it?
It does. It's easy to hear that and think, well, that sounds maybe overly aggressive. Or just like promoting constant burnout level stress.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
How does the source address that?
Well, that's where the idea real power lives inside pressure seems to come in.
Okay.
It seems the source isn't saying seek out, random pointless stress.
Right, more like the kind of pressure that forces you to grow.
Exactly. The kind that fuels discipline. It gives specific examples of pressure's role, like it wakes you up when your comfort zone is a coffin.
Strong image.
Isn't it? Think about like dragging yourself out of bed early to work out when everything in you wants to hit snooze.
That's pressure, all right. Internal pressure, maybe.
The source says that's the pressure pushing you, not comfort. It also says pressure drives you to grind for that extra client, that extra sale, that extra hour of work, while others are scrolling their phones.
So in this view, pressure is almost like the engine, the fuel for discipline and effort.
That seems to be the argument. It turns immediate discomfort into, well, long-term gain.
Okay, that makes sense in context.
And it's not just about what you achieve externally. The source claims pressure reveals who you really are inside.
Ah, the character aspect.
Yeah, it says pressure exposes your true character, and it doesn't care about excuses.
Oof.
Right. It points out that weak men run from pressure because it forces them to confront their flaws. Things like their fears, their laziness, their lack of discipline.
It's like a spotlight on your default settings, especially the ones you don't like.
Kind of, yeah. Like how you really operate when things get tough. This is where maybe resilience isn't just something you have, but something you build by facing those moments.
Exactly, but then it shifts, doesn't it? It takes this rather empowering turn.
It does. The idea that pressure is your weapon.
Right, that's a significant pivot.
The source claims the more you lean into it, the more you build armor nobody can punch through.
So it's redefining that discomfort again.
Yeah.
Instead of something to flee, it's what, a tool?
A tool or maybe even armor itself. It suggests that actively seeking out these challenging moments, the stuff most people avoid, that becomes the actual path to getting stronger, more resilient. It's about using what others fear.
Which leads directly to the call to action, I suppose.
It does, yeah. Very clear. Stop avoiding pressure. Seek it out. Chase it. Welcome it like an old friend.
Wow. Like an old friend.
Yeah.
That's a demanding shift in perspective.
It is. So, practically speaking, for you listening, it seems to be asking for a fundamental change in how you view challenges, not as threats, but as, quote, opportunities.
And the source is pretty stark about the consequences of choosing one path over the other.
Extremely stark. For avoiding pressure, the warning is every moment you run from pressure, you shrink. You become smaller, softer, less relevant.
That's harsh.
It is. But then, the flip side, for facing it, every moment you face pressure, you grow. You build resilience, you build dominance, you build a legacy.
It really presents it as a clear fork in the road, doesn't it? With huge implications for your life, your future. It's basically arguing for intentional discomfort as the path.
Pretty much. And it wraps up with this really powerful closing image.
What's that?
It says, the world doesn't owe you softness. It owes you pressure, the kind that shapes kings.
Shapes kings.
Okay. And then the direct instruction, so next time life throws the heat, don't duck. Stand tall, breathe in that pressure, and use it to fuel your rise.
So stand tall and use it.
Use it to fuel your rise. That's the final command, basically. So we've kind of unpacked this intense deep dive, this idea that weak men avoid pressure. And conversely, that strength comes from embracing it.
Yeah, it's definitely a message designed to provoke, isn't it? To make you really reevaluate how you approach difficulty.
Absolutely. It challenges complacency.
And it leaves us really with that potent question from the source itself. Which one are you?
And maybe embracing that question, continually trying to answer it through your actions.
Day by day.
Yeah, maybe that's the real test, the ongoing test of the kind of strength the source is talking about.
It suggests it's a constant process, not a state you just achieve.
Yeah. Exactly. A journey, like you said earlier, not some final destination. And the pressure, it's always going to be there, just waiting for you to decide what you're going to do with it.